This is not normal. The only other couple that I have ever known to brief against each other while they remain married.
Meghan Markle, meet the truth. Truth, meet Meghan Markle. I don't think you know each other. In fact, I fear that you're complete strangers.
There are rumors that this separate, working separately, seeing them independently, it's not only a professional blueprint, but it could potentially be something more serious.
Blueprint, but it could potentially be something more serious. The fairy tale is officially crumbling. And the signs are everywhere if you know where to look. Multiple sources are now confirming that Meghan Markle has been quietly assembling her exit strategy. From Prince Harry, complete with lawyers, negotiating a settlement that could rival Sarah Ferguson's divorce payout. We're talking about a woman who's reportedly been shopping around a post-divorce tell-all book while still married, demanding she keeps her royal title, prime real estate, and a massive financial settlement. The most telling evidence, she's been spotted without her wedding ring on multiple occasions while Harry throws himself into solo humanitarian work, looking lighter and happier than he has in years. This isn't just professional separation anymore. This is a calculated dismantling of their entire brand. And the woman who once claimed they were salt and pepper moving together is now preparing to disappear with everything she can carry behind the carefully curated Instagram posts and desperate attempts at lifestyle guru status lies a devastating reality that royal insiders are finally willing to discuss. Meghan Markle's flagship business venture, American Riviera Orchard, has become what Sky News contributor Louise Roberts aptly described as American Riviera ordeal. A spectacular failure that's not only hemorrhaging money but actively destroying her marriage to Prince Harry. Jaunting off on his own, took a 15-day tour around the world to London, to New York, to Lesotho in South Africa, and so on and so forth. 15 days, made 10 solo visits on his own. Royal author Tom Quinn, who's explosive behind the scenes revelations have been sending shock waves through the palace, has revealed that Meghan's dissatisfaction with her failing lifestyle brand is causing serious issues with her marriage because she's so stressed about it. The pressure of watching her grand business ambitions crumble has reportedly taken such a toll on Meghan that friends have noticed the couple having more frequent rows and disagreements. What makes this situation particularly toxic is that unlike most couples, they used to spend almost all their time together, which means Harry was witnessing firsthand Meghan's meltdowns over her business failures. Sources close to the couple revealed that Meghan was hugely upset and stressed when her internet homemaking venture was mocked. And this took its toll on her relationship with Harry. People are now reporting that a marriage split, a separation might be imminent. The timing couldn't be worse. Just as their Netflix deal approaches its expiration and their financial pressures mount, Meghan's inability to launch a successful business is creating a perfect storm of marital tension. Harry, who has already sacrificed his family, relationships and royal status for this new life, is reportedly watching his wife struggle with something that should have been relatively straightforward for someone with her platform and connections. The scope of American Riviera Orchard's failure is staggering. When you examine the details, what was supposed to be Meghan's answer to Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop empire has been reduced to what Louise Roberts accurately described as a bunch of trademarks and a sort of ambit claim. After launching with great fanfare in March 2024, the brand has managed to produce exactly 0 products for public sale despite grand promises of everything from gourmet jams to pet food. The trademark disasters alone paint a picture of stunning incompetence. Meghan's team filed for the American Riviera Orchard trademark only to be rejected by the U.S. Patent Office in August 2024 because American Riviera is a commonly used place name for Santa Barbara where they live. This is the kind of basic legal research that should have been completed before launching the brand, not months afterward. Even more embarrassing when Meghan hastily rebranded to as Ever in February 2025. She immediately ran into another trademark dispute with a small New York clothing company that had been using the name since 2017. The clothing company's owner, Mark Kolsky, pointedly stated he has common law rights to continue using the name and has no plans to change it. Despite Meghan's Netflix-backed legal team, her history of being incredibly inconsistent and also rather toxic and manipulative are in direct contrast to this image that she's trying to sell right now and align with her as ever brand. The incompetence extends beyond trademark issues into potential plagiarism accusations. Social media users quickly identified that Meghan's new as ever logo bears a striking resemblance to the coat of arms of Paris, a Spanish town, both featuring hummingbirds and palm trees. While Meghan's team insists the logo was designed to be unique and personal and that comprehensive global searches were conducted, the similarities are undeniable. This follows a pattern of questionable originality that has plagued Meghan's ventures. The woman who once claimed to be a creative force appears to be consistently drawing inspiration from existing designs and concepts, then acting shocked when people notice the similarities. Perhaps most telling is how Netflix has been forced to essentially take over Meghan's failing brand to salvage their investment. Reports indicate that American Riviera Orchard products will be sold through Netflix house stores, opening in 2025 with the streaming giant promoting everything from jams to skincare products. This isn't a partnership of equals. This is Netflix desperately trying to create value from a venture that has proven incapable of generating revenue on its own. The fact that Netflix is opening physical retail locations partly to sell Meghan's products reveals how concerned they are about their investment. One source noted that Netflix stores will feature products from their most successful shows from Squid Game to Stranger Things, placing Meghan's jam alongside merchandise from actual hit content. The face because they realize that they look like they've wasted a huge amount of money on these two individuals that overpromised and underdelivered. The most damaging revelation came through Meghan's own preferred media outlet, People magazine, where she essentially admitted her marriage is in crisis. In what Dan Wooten correctly identified as briefing against her own husband, Meghan had sources tell People that she's focused on the future while Harry has one foot in the past. This calculated leak reveals someone who is Dairy business about the royal rift. Because as the source noted, this isn't her family. She never had any intention of making it work. The most telling line was Meghan's admission that she wishes her husband could feel less burdened by the past and more present in the life they built together. This isn't the language of a happy marriage. This is someone admitting that her husband is fundamentally unhappy with the life they've created. But rather than examining her own role in that unhappiness, she's blaming Harry for being unable to move on from his previous life. Behind all the lifestyle, brand failures and marital tensions lies a crushing financial reality. Their much vaunted Netflix deal, initially reported as $100 million, is actually closer to $20 million over 5 years. With their contract expiring in 2025 and their content consistently underperforming, renewal looks increasingly unlikely. Meanwhile, their expenses continue to spiral. The Montecito mansion costs $288,000 annually in property taxes alone, while their security bill reportedly runs $2 million per year. They've already been forced to fire their entire PR team to cut costs, and sources indicate they've lost or terminated up to 25 staff members since 2020. Most revealing is how Harry and Meghan are increasingly operating as separate entities. Louise Roberts observed that it's becoming glaringly obvious that salt and pepper, as Meghan once said, no longer moves together. Harry is taking on more solo engagements while Meghan focuses on her failing business ventures, creating the appearance of a couple gradually separating their professional and personal lives. If they wanted to portray a picture of a marriage in crisis, they couldn't do much of a better job than what they're doing now. The business side of their relationship is being handled separately and by separate team in Arkeel, with Harry having no involvement in it. This isn't just about different interests. This is about Harry distancing himself from ventures that are damaging their shared reputation. What we're witnessing isn't just a business failure. It's the systematic destruction of a marriage under the weight of unrealistic expectations and poor decision-making. Meghan's inability to succeed as a lifestyle guru despite every advantage of platform connections and financial backing has created exactly the kind of stress that destroys relationships. The woman who promised Harry a glamorous Hollywood life has instead delivered a series of embarrassing failures that have isolated them from both the royal family and the entertainment industry. Her American Riviera Orchard disaster isn't just a business setback. It's a symbol of everything wrong with their post-royal strategy. As the financial pressures mount and the marriage shows increasing strain, the split rumors that have been circulating for months are starting to look less like gossip and more like an inevitable conclusion to a relationship built on false promises and mutual exploitation rather than genuine love and shared values. However, things took a surprising turn. In recent weeks, the royal family and the Sussex camp have been engaged in what many are calling a surprising yet strategic move. Talks of reconciliation. After years of dramatic fallout and public feuds, these conversations hint at a possible thaw. But the story beneath the surface is far more complex and reveals deep tensions, strategic positioning, and unresolved conflicts that may ultimately do many. Genuine healing. Kinsey Schofield, the West Coast Royal correspondent, paints a vivid picture of Prince Harry's current state of mind and motivation. Desperate to repair his shattered reputation after years of controversy, Harry is seen making a series of calculated moves that suggest a desire to restore his place within the royal fold. But this attempt is being met with skepticism both publicly and within the family itself. I think we're seeing a man desperate to rehabilitate his image after moving to the United States and becoming really this villain who has gone out of his way to terrorize a father with cancer. The assessment is brutal but accurate. Harry's public image has deteriorated so dramatically that even his charitable endeavors are viewed through the lens of damage control rather than genuine altruism. The timing of these reconciliation efforts is particularly telling. Harry realizes that the only way that he can sustain any sort of popularity and have opportunities is if he changes the direction of his brand, which has looked so vengeful over the last few years. This isn't about family healing. It's about career survival in a world that has grown increasingly hostile to the Sussex narrative. The reconciliation talks themselves are notable for their very public leak, indicating someone wants the world to know these efforts are underway. The venue was not secret and photos emerged almost immediately to the media. This suggests a carefully calculated move, potentially orchestrated by the palace itself to gauge public reaction and demonstrate that the crown is willing to give Harry and Meghan a chance, but only on very specific terms. Schofield suggests this follows a familiar pattern. She claimed that this is another example of Harry and Meghan trying to pull from the Princess Diana playbook. They're going to have these peace talks and then it's going to conveniently leak in the media that we've had these peace talks. The strategy appears designed to generate positive press while putting pressure on the royal family to appear magnanimous. However, the execution reveals a fundamental misunderstanding of public sentiment. She thinks that they're hoping for the boost in positive press, but also wonder how much of it is them trying to force their hand. If we know that there are peace talks going on, does it make the royal family look like villains if they reject the idea of Harry and Meghan coming back? Public reaction has been overwhelmingly critical, with many viewing the talks as little more than a transparent PR stunt. The scars from past